So John Jones, my pad's are wrecked. Don't worry about that. We're on our way back to Pittsburgh anyway. My girlfriend's excited. I'm not. The one thing I am excited for is to see Johnny Bones Jones get back in the cage and work his magic. And he's going to do so against Dan Henderson. When I heard about the matchup, I'm like, yeah, Johnny's going to do it again, and it should be in some cool flash KO that he's known for, and I still believe that. I still believe it's going to be something that we've either seen once or twice or haven't seen before at all. Hey, let me get comfy so I can get close to my people. So I'm thinking it's going to be something flashy and cool, and Dan Henderson, he's got that overhand right, that he couldn't take Shields out with. So I have no idea how he expects to take out John Jones. I think he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now, above Anderson Silva. So that's my opinion. Take it or leave it. I look at the betting lines, and he comes in as a 7-1 favorite, a 7-1 right off the bat. Right off the bat, John Jones is 7-1 to win. Is a 7-1 underdog, and John Jones is a 4-1 favorite. So how do you like that? How do you like them apples? Really, I mean that's pure talent. And remember that he's still a kid. He's still a baby. I mean, Jesus, what was Dan Henderson doing at John Jones' age? I'm just now catching up on all this brand new, all these brand new cards, and this here is just something to really behold. This is something that you look at and go, really? Like, that's going to happen? And the reason for it happening is still a myth and a legend. Even if a Dana White told me himself, and it made sense a little bit, I'd still be beside myself as to why they would let Brandon the Truth Vera headline UFC on Fox 4 with Shogun Hua. I have no idea what the odds are, and it doesn't matter. I think Shogun's 20-6, and Brandon Vera is 12-6, something like that. Brandon Vera, his last really good win, his last really powerhouse win was against Michael Pat at UFC 96, and that was Jackson versus Jardine, and he leg kicked him until he couldn't stand up anymore. Then he fought K-Sauce and went to a decision. After that, Couture beat him. After that, John Jones literally gave him an extra eyeball. Thiago Silva played the bongos on his back. He was beating him so bad. Knockout ratio, it's an 85% knockout. I mean, that's to me that's off the hook. 85% of his wins come by knockout. He only has one win by submission. Not sure when and how. Or there was the Kevin Randleman knee bar, that nasty knee bar back in Pride. Disgusting. And 2 decisions. All his losses, it's 2-2-2. 2 decisions, 2 subs, and 2 KOs. So I mean, he's 30 years old. He's a young guy, and he has everything in the world to lose by taking this fight against Brandon the Truth Vera, who at one point claimed that he was going to hold the heavyweight and light heavyweight belt at the exact same time. He did take care of such notable heavyweights as Frank Mir. He took care of Frank Mir. I know there was another 1-2 notable people that Brandon Vera definitely got the best of, and ended up taking it. But what happened to him when he dropped to 205? He fought a guy named Reese Andy. He came over from the IFL, and the shit was crazy. I mean, just to watch it, I had no idea what was happening. They were fighting, they were dancing, they were just stalling out a decision. I'm not sure. Just what a wreck. Anyway, excuse me. Since UFC 93, UFC 93 Franklin versus Henderson, Shogun fought Coleman and knocked him out. UFC 97, I remember that one very well. He fought the Iceman, knocked him out. And then he challenged for Lyoto Machida, who was the champ at the time. He challenges for the Dragon's belt and comes in on the short end of a lopsided split decision that I feel he should have got the nod on, even though I was a Machida guy. So I really wanted Machida to win, and he did. So no complaints from me. And then he comes back against Lyoto Machida and puts a definitive stamp on why he should have won the first fight and knocks him out, giving Lyoto Machida the first loss of his career ever. However, he runs into a problem. Johnny Bones Jones takes a fight on short notice, comes in and hurts Shogun so bad he actually tapped from strikes. If you watch the end of the fight, it wasn't referee stoppage. It was a tap. It was a submission. He tapped due to strikes. After that knee to the liver, Shogun went down and tapped the mat. So that's what happened, guys. He rematched Forrest Griffin at UFC 134 in Brazil, and made Forrest Griffin look like a beginner. Made him look like it was his first fight ever, and just rolled him across that octagon. Forrest said he had a baby on the way, and there was a bunch of stuff on his mind. But when you're in an octagon locked with Mauricio Shogun, who was staring across from you, wanting redemption for the first time, you choked it, you strangled him the first time, and spoiled his octagon debut. To me, that seems a little bit more important, but hey, Forrest Griffin's Forrest Griffin, and I'm me. So, and his last one, unfortunately, he lost against Dan Henderson. That was one hell of a war. Joe Rogan, I don't think Eddie Bravo agreed, but it was up there with one of the best fights of all time. And he's going to go from Dan Henderson, John Jones, all these spectacular fighters, down to Brandon the Truth Vera, who's, in my opinion, 1-3 in his last 4 fights. So, I guess crazier things have happened. I can't think of one right now. However, I did figure out why they yanked Uriah Faber and Hanan Barao off the UFC 148 card. The UFC 148 card was so stacked already. I looked at the UFC 149 card. I'm not back. It is the next day. However, I'm still on the video. I was going to do some editing, and apparently when my webcam hits either 7 or 8 minutes, what happens is I turn into a much bigger, sexier version, male of course, of Linda Blair. And my voice starts to go, oh hail Satan, and it's my webcam's just, it's fucked. But anyway, it ended at the perfect time. It ended exactly when I said, I can't think of any anything crazy going on right now. And then I thought of one, and then one crazy thing going on right now is one good reason to stop UFC 148 from having its card done in its entirety. And UFC is notorious for pulling fighters off cards, especially title fights. And that's a low blow. The thing is, Hanan Barao and Uriah Faber, that fight to me is going to be something special. So they had to pull someone. They couldn't pull Chael because that's a rematch. They couldn't pull Ortiz Griffin. That's a rematch. They couldn't pull Kung Lee because he's new to the octagon. They couldn't pull Patrick Cote. He's back. He's brand new again, back in the octagon. So they went with the obvious choice and chose and they needed star power. So they choose Hanan Barao and Uriah Faber, and the reason why UFC 149 is one of the worst cards I've ever seen in my entire life. From top to bottom, I don't even just the one look I got at it was so ugly. I didn't even give it a second thought. There's no way that I would even I wouldn't even watch it for free. The only fight on there that's worth watching that I will watch is Faber versus Barao, and that's for the interim UFC 135-pound title. We'll see who takes it, and then we'll see who fights Cruz after. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been a long time. Lots of videos and lots of long videos about mixed martial arts, about life, about music, and thank you, and I love you all for tuning in.